We now have a keynote address by Rajesh Bansal, Chief Executive Officer, Reserve Bank Innovation Hub.
Thank you, Kanika. And thank you so much to Carnegie for having me here. It's a pleasure always to speak at the GTS with such a learned audience. So I'll just be very brief and spend about 10 minutes of who we are at RBIH. We are the newest baby of the Reserve Bank of India, Reserve Bank Innovation Hub, set up last year. We are based out of the fintech capital of the country, Bangalore. So just to summarize, and the topic we chose today to speak about is customer at the center of innovation. Because we have realized, as my about 3 decades of experience in the financial sector, that a lot of what the financial sector is doing today, and that is true for other technology companies also, is not just focus on supply side, but also focus on customer at the center of innovation. With this, what is our mission? Frictionless finance for 1 billion Indians. A simple mission, but requires a lot of work. It requires working with banks, fintechs, academia, technology companies to make this possible. And we are sure with the support of all of you, we'll achieve this mission in the next few years, especially because India is lucky to have built the world's best public digital infrastructure, which you have been hearing about for the last 2.5 days. What is our motto? Innovation, inclusion, and impact. Navan mein Samavesh Prabhav, for those of you who know Hindi. What is our approach? How do we achieve this? As I just mentioned, we work with everybody in the ecosystem. We work with, I must have met personally about 500 fintech founders, worked with 50 banks today, worked with IITs, IIMs, worked with government agencies, state governments, and anybody who's interested in having a shared vision to create frictionless finance is how we approach anything. And I'll give you an example, as you are all aware. One is, you heard a lot about this. We have built a great public digital infrastructure over the last 1 decade. Has it really benefited the next 500 million? My personal view is it is still to reach the next 500 million, and that is what we try to leverage. So all the tools. But why is that the customer, and I was talking to a lot of people before lunch, and I told them what my topic is. They're like, I have a problem with my bank. So imagine upper middle class people having a problem with their bank. I'm sure if I was to do a survey, a lot of you will raise an issue. A bank keeps on harassing me for KYC, re-KYC, dormant account, and whatnot. I can go on and on. I bank with a private bank. But we have tools to create. The only way to do it is focus on the customer at the center rather than focus on data, focus on technology, focus on the customer, everything else will fall in place. And I'll give an example of a project which you have attempted to do. We looked at, I'm sure a lot of you wonder what KCC is. It's Kisan credit card. It's a scheme of the government of India and the RBI to lend to farmers. It has improvised over the last 2 decades. But what did we discover? We discovered, honestly, it's not an exaggeration. My 2 team members who went to the field to do this survey will tell you right away how complicated life is. This is not the Bhul Bhulaiya of Lucknow, but the real customer journey of a farmer who wants to avail a loan of $1,000. This is a reality. What did we discover? This is what we discovered. I'm not going to details of this. It takes for a farmer about 3 to 4 weeks to get a loan. This was our study. When our team has gone to the field after that, we have spoken to a lot of people. You know what farmers tell us? Sir, 4 weeks I can get it, my life is easy. It takes 2 months. There are times when Abhishek, Varun have been to the field. Farmer tells them it takes 2 months. I have applied to 4 banks, but no loan. This is what the reality of the situation was, I would say. We're trying to change it. So we identified key issues. It's all paper-based. I'm sure, I'm not ridiculing, was part of building Aadhaar India Stack. Why is it paper-based? We asked the financial service provider, is there a reason? There is Aadhaar e-KYC, there are so many other things. Sir, but, using it for a farmer, we are not sure. e-KYC was not built for a few set of people, it was built for everyone. High turnaround time, 3 to 4 weeks. Additional cost without bribes, about 5%. Village officer, engineer, lawyer, document writer, and one more. 5 people were paid by the farmer. So we said, okay, let's get down, talk to fintechs, talk to banks. Our engineering team and our business teams got together, did a whiteboarding and looked at how do we re-engineer this entire process. And with the help of key interventions, we focus on end-to-end digital. No human in the middle. As long as there is a human in the middle, there is discretion, there is monopoly, there is corruption, there is delay. We all know it. Our motto was clear, our principle was clear, it has to be end-to-end digital. We also looked at one of the layers of this customer journey was land record. So we spoke to 2 state governments, government of Tamil Nadu, government of Madhya Pradesh, and they have exposed API with our team. They have helped develop API through which land record can be automatically verified. Automation of key processes. There are a total of 10 processes which the bank goes through. We have managed to automate, integrate all of those processes, and integration of services using APIs. So we have enabled a truly frictionless journey, which is paperless, reduced turnaround time to a few minutes. Less than an hour is what we have turned it around. There are hundreds of loans given today in Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, which are happening with 2 banks, Union Bank and Federal Bank. No additional cost. It is available in self-service mode and assisted mode. You need not have a smartphone to be able to access this. You can go to the bank branch, you can go to 2 million micro ATMs, you can go to a CSC, and you can avail this loan. Currently, live in 2 states. We are scaling it across other banks and other sectors. We also did a sentiment analysis. My colleague Abhishek sitting here has done that. He's our data scientist. What did we find? Again, an example of are we listening to the consumer? We did a sentiment analysis. We realized that the PSU banks, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't think there are a lot of PSU banks present here, they complement the compliment. They immediately respond to a 5-star review, but they take their own time in responding to a 1 or 2-star review. But the fintechs actually replied immediately to bad reviews. What is the good thing about public sector, private sector, and fintechs? Public sector bank, net banking, fintech, as expected. But the surprising part is, what did the users not like? The same. Customer care, customer, bad experience. Public sector, private sector, or a fintech, doesn't matter. The same thing. Just another example of why we are not listening to the consumer and why we should focus on customer at the center of all this. These are some examples of cluttered innovation, clean interface. So there are some suggestions, I'll just take a couple of more minutes, to reimagine customer experience. When I get up on a Monday morning or on a rainy day, what does Spotify tell you? Hey Rajesh, this is your playlist. Now a lot of people think we are mavericks, but the fact remains, finance can be fun. Finance can be intuitive. Finance, if I log onto my app on the 1st of January, 1st of December today, the app knows what I do. Bank knows what I do on 1st. I pay my rent, I do this, do this. Can the bank not give us a playlist and say click and go for it and everything is done? Unfortunately, no. We have to make it more like Spotify. You have to make it fun for the next generation, fun for the digital native generation, and not make it boring the way it has been for my generation. So some suggestions. We should look at accessibility in multiple languages, which is again a challenge in India. A lot of the apps, banking apps, financial apps are focused on English. Some of them have gone to Hindi. As the Honorable Minister also says, whether it's education or finance, there has to be multiple languages which has to be used. Good UI UX. So we are starting a project looking at how do we improve the UI UX of banks and fintechs to make it as intuitive as an Apple phone. Why does my niece, who is 1.5 years old, how does she figure out her YouTube cartoon video on Apple iPhone And we as 35 or 50-year-old can't figure out how to send money on UPI. Something has to be done about UI, UX, right? Seamless channel across, experience across channels. I make a complaint over IVRS, and when I try and log into my net banking, what happens to my complaint? I don't know the status. Because providers treat different channels differently. So seamless experience across channels, tailored products. Why can't I get a product the way I want, when I want, how I want, through the channel I want? I should be able to move the meter and say I want a product which I will repay daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. For example, obviously yearly is not done, but just as an example. And over these many months or these many weeks, dairy farmers can do that, who have a daily cash flow. Hawkers can do that. But that has unfortunately not happened. Identifying what customer needs, understand behavioral insights. Voice recognition is going to be the next big thing if we have to deepen and widen finance in India. And conversational AI. My Zomato and Swiggy app tells me, if I have a problem with the order, they immediately take care of things. Why can't my financial service provider do the same? So again, not ridiculing, but these are things on which India needs to work. Adaptive menus. I'll go through this. So, along with the financial sector and the entire ecosystem, what we request is, let us all of us build a finance of tomorrow which is fun, which is transparent, which is consumer-centric. That is my only request. Thank you very much.